Good morning and welcome back to Breakfast Television. We're going to start off by talking about the roadways, and we're going to check out that Toronto-bound QEW approaching Centennial Parkway. 2 left lanes still shut down, all because of a jackknife tractor trailer. We've got tow truck emergency crews all still on the scene. I just actually saw some plows and some salters heading through here as well. So only one right lane is getting by. It's already jammed up from approaching Fruitland, so it'll be troublesome getting into the Toronto area for you this morning. If you want to use the South Service Road as your alternate route, you can do so. It looks like it's moving better than this Toronto-bound QEW right now. The rest of the major routes looking pretty good. We don't have any other collisions, but again, typical volume delays building here as you see through the Scarborough stretch, both express and collectors. This is the southbound 404 around 16th Avenue. It's also quite heavy and then continues to move slowly as you make your way onto the Don Valley Parkway from about York Mills all the way down to south of Lawrence. Need a laugh? Catch The Suspendables, a podcast by funny man Jungle Jim Jerome and prolific former NHL player Russ Courtnall. Visit globalstorynetwork.com. Let's take a look at that forecast now with Frank.
Yeah, as we're taking a look at road conditions this morning, you can see many of them are nice and bare. So we have seen some snow through the overnight, through some areas, already about 2 centimeters. We're getting a break right now. This is a Texas low that's been pushing its way in, and this is how it's going to work, where we'll get times where we'll be into some snow, and then we'll get big breaks, risk of some freezing drizzle, back into some snow, and then a big break. This system's going to linger with us all the way through into Friday as well. Current conditions, we're sitting right around -5. We factor in some winds. We have a wind chill of about -12. -10 is your current wind chill as we take a look over towards Windsor, -17 into Ottawa. So care, caution, space, time, those are all the things you need on the roadways for today. -2 is your high. When this is all wrapped up by the time it ends on Friday, maybe 8 centimeters of snow total, and that's many, many hours in between. So it's going to be a very slow system, a system that will give us big breaks as well. -3 as we take a look into Friday. Friday night, we dip down to -13 as the skies clear out. We're cold on Saturday morning with a wind chill of -20. And a daytime high mainly sunny at -7. Let's look at your next 3 days weather-wise.
Weather-wise, it continues to be messy. Yeah, we're going to be talking about it all morning long, but also what the city and the GTA, what they are doing to help combat all of that. Our Tammy Sutherland standing by live right now with how the city of Toronto preparing. Last time we checked in with you, Tammy, you had a huge lineup behind you. I think it's, good news that lineup has subsided.
Yes, so you can see that lineup completely gone right now. They were lined up for about an hour steady since we got here, at least from what we saw, picking up salt and getting ready to hit the sidewalks and the roadways here in the city of Toronto. And they're doing that because the sidewalk plows, they have already been deployed. They do so after about 2 centimeters of snow fell, and we reached that point overnight with the messy weather that hit the GTA while we were all sleeping. Now, that messy weather right now, it's not coming down as hard as it was overnight. Right now, we just have some light flurries, at least downtown in this area. But other areas, of course, you have a little bit more snow and the roads are still slick, even if they look clear. A good reminder of this, the OPP putting out their numbers from overnight saying that they responded to about 50 collisions overnight. They have another dozen on the go this morning. And one of those calls included a vehicle that slammed into an OPP cruiser with the officer sitting inside at the 401 and Leslie. The officer had to be taken to hospital, was treated and released, but it is a reminder, slow down. If you take a look at the roads, they may appear clear, but they are still slick. So that means if you are driving, you're heading out there, make sure that you have some extra time, leave a little earlier than normal, just so that you can make it without any issues. Hopefully a lot of people heed that advice. Mel, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, let's hope so, Tam. Thank you so much for that. Medical officials on a quarantined cruise ship off the coast of Japan now say 2 Canadians have tested positive for the deadly coronavirus, and they have now been removed and hospitalized. 10 people had tested positive for this virus earlier on in the week, and now 8 more testing positive after a second round of samples were taken. Princess Cruises says those passengers leaving the ship immediately, taken to hospitals, the ship carrying more than 3,700 people, including 251 Canadians. Meantime, the World Health Organization says it has seen the biggest jump in cases over the last 24 hours, the death toll now rising to over 560. To our streets now, Toronto police investigating what they say is a random stabbing. It happened on board a TTC bus, leaving a victim with life-altering injuries. Happened at the Danforth and Victoria Park That area around 5:45, police say the suspect, armed with scissors, fled the bus to a nearby parking lot. Officers tracking him down, arresting him in front of a nearby grocery store. Police say the suspect and victim did not know each other. They are now reviewing video and looking to speak to any witnesses. Mayor John Tory in Ottawa wrapping up 2 days for a number of meetings with federal officials. Tory says he's hoping that the city will get a portion of the Liberals' campaign vow to spend $250 million over the next 5 years to tackle gun violence and community programming. In a meeting yesterday, Tory says he believes Toronto has been shortchanged by federal funding to help reduce shootings across the city. We're going to be speaking with the mayor live in Ottawa coming up at 7 o'clock. And in world news, a high-speed train has derailed in northern Italy, leaving 2 people dead. Both of these victims believed to be the drivers of the train. There were a couple dozen passengers on board, several suffering minor injuries. The train derailing about 40 kilometers from Milan when en route to the southern city of Salerno. The engine reportedly hit a freight wagon on a parallel track before running into a building and then landing on its side. The cause is still under investigation. And investigators trying to determine what went wrong after a plane crash in Turkey that killed 3 passengers and injured dozens more. The Boeing 737 carrying over 180 people skid off the runway, broke off into 3 parts after trying to land in Istanbul in bad weather. Passengers forced to evacuate through cracks in the smashed plane and then climb out onto the wings. The airport has since reopened.